Okay, good evening all. I hope you can hear me well. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening and good evening all of you, and thank you very much for joining our second webinar and on basically the discussion forum, basically smart grids and microgrids. And today is the second day, and first day we have done basically the introduction part of the smart grid and as well as the microgrids. And today we are going to little bit actually it's not a deviation, basically it's also part of the smart grid, but how to automate the distribution system. Now, distribution automation is also a part of the smart grid, or we can say it's a path to achieve the smart grid through the automation. Because anyway, finally, smart grid is basically automation, right? Automation as well as the communications, including all these things. Then distribution automation is basically part of that, because we know that in the power network, we have basically 4 sections: generation, transmission, distribution, and utilization. Basically, this is smart grid, the discussions we are focusing on basically the distribution as well as the utilization. And we are not much focused on the generation and the transmission part. Therefore, we thought that it's better we can discuss first with about the distribution automation. Then with that, we can go to the next level, that is the utilization part. With that, I would like to introduce today's expert panel. We have today 4 expert panel, and all are engineers from the Ceylon Electricity Board, and this are Dinesh and Chiranta and Engineer Ajit and Engineer Prabath, all are engineers from the Ceylon Electricity Board. And before going to the basic presentation, I'll just explain a little bit about our work at the University of Moratuwa. Basically, the distribution automation, actually we have started the research going in somewhere around 2016, and we have developed basically for some automation systems, basically some devices. One is basically fault detection and isolation restoration using multi-agent based distribution automation system. With that, basically we have developed a unit where that unit can do the fault detection and the isolation, except the restoration part. And we have demonstrated in the university that in the near to the Sumanadasa building, as well as this is actually this is a presentation we have done for the ADB in for showing them to the path to the smart grid. Basically, the University of Moratuwa works on these areas, as well as we have this is another one, groundbreaking power failure detection technology developed by Moratuwa, and it is published in Business Times in 2017. Now, with that basic, I would like to, this is what we have done. There's a few examples that the University of Moratuwa done in the distribution automation level. With that, I would like to invite our expert panel to start their presentations and their work to show to the present their works. Thank you very much, and it's over to you, Engineer Dinesh. You can start from your end, and I will stop sharing the presentation.
Thank you very much, sir. I think it will start from Prabath. After that, I will move to the next presentation. Okay, Prabath, we can show your screen now.
Thank you, Dinesh, and thank you, Professor Udayanga, for the kind introductions. I hope my screen is visible now.
Yes, Prabath.
Okay. Now, my name is Prabath Illangakoon, and I'm an engineer attached to the Research and Development branch of the Ceylon Electricity Board. So the topic today is distribution automation. Our team, our 4 engineers in this team will try to share our experience related to distribution automation, and we will present you some supporting knowledge required to understand this concept of distribution automation properly. So distribution automation, as explained by Professor, is a part of the smart grid transformation which applies to the distribution networks of a utility. So in a typical distribution network, we find conductors, various switchgear, transformers, and of course, smart meters. So in distribution automation, we are supposed to connect, establish communication with these various devices in the distribution network with the utilities central control center, and we have to have some advantages by doing that communication establishment. So one of the key components of the distribution automation is outage detection and the response to outages. But even today, utilities depend on the calls originated from customers to identify the faulty sections in their distribution networks. So the whole motivation behind distribution automation is to avoid that, and we are supposed to autonomously detect the outages in the distribution network and take necessary action in order to restore the power to the customers. So to begin with, we would like to show you a small video clip about the smart grid transformation. We obtained this video from this website smartgrid.gov, and to start, let us see that video first.
Our current electric grid was conceived more than 100 years ago when electricity needs were simple. Power generation was localized and built around communities. Most homes had only small energy demands, such as a few light bulbs and a radio. The grid was designed for utilities to deliver electricity to consumers' homes and then bill them once a month. This limited one-way interaction makes it difficult for the grid to respond to the ever-changing and rising energy demands of the 21st century. The smart grid introduces a two-way dialogue where electricity and information can be exchanged between the utility and its customers. It's a developing network of communications, controls, computers, automation, and new technologies and tools working together to make the grid more efficient, more reliable, more secure, and greener. The smart grid enables newer technologies to be integrated, such as wind and solar energy production and plug-in electric vehicle charging. With our participation as informed consumers, the smart grid will replace the aging infrastructure of today's grid, and utilities can better communicate with us to help manage our electricity needs.
So the point I would like to highlight here is the establishment of two-way communication between the customers and the equipment in the network and the utility. So it is the major stepping stone in developing the smart grid, or rather transforming our conventional grid into a smart grid. So in a smart grid, we find various aspects like smart homes, renewable energy, consumer engagement, plug-in hybrid, plug-in electric vehicles, operation centers, and the distribution intelligence. So our topic today, the distribution automation, falls into the category of distribution intelligence. So to better understand this concept of distribution intelligence, I would like to show you all another video about the role of distribution automation in a smart grid network. And we obtained the video from the previous site I mentioned in the previous slide.
The distribution system routes power from the utility to residential and commercial customers through power lines, switches, and transformers. Utilities typically rely on complex power distribution schemes and manual switching to keep power flowing to their customers. Any break in this system caused by storms, bad weather, or sudden changes in electricity demand can lead to outages. The Smart Grid's distribution intelligence counters these energy fluctuations and outages by automatically identifying problems, then rerouting and restoring power delivery. Utilities can further use distribution intelligence to predict and manage electricity usage with the cooperation of their customers, leading to lower production cost.
Okay, now the point again I want to highlight here is the main role of distribution automation is automatically detecting outages and take necessary action to restore the power to the affected customers. So I think we are now clear about what is going to happen. We are going to establish communication between the various switchgear and customers with the central office of the utility, and by that we are going to have the advantages of main advantage of outage detection and response to these outages. So
the distribution.
So in order to understand the content better in our session, I would like to hand over the control to Engineer Dinesh. He will explain you about the overhead distribution systems in Ceylon Electricity Board, so that we can build this topic in the coming slides better. So Engineer Dinesh, over to you.